Hello and welcome to another update video about AVAX. AVAX is currently coming down and we seem to be getting some kind of a five-wave structure to the downside. It's really hard now to justify this still as a wave 4. Starting to believe that we might be really in this wave 2 retracement already, but I think the Fed interest rate announcement and the 1 or 2 hours afterwards will give us clarity. Because, I mean, we broke that trend line. We had 2 touch points, actually 3 touch points here, depending on how I draw the trend line. That broke, so I'm going to take it out because it's not relevant anymore. Based on the rules of Elliott wave, we cannot count this anymore as an impulse anyway. It has retraced too much. It's cutting into the price action of wave 1. And as I said yesterday in the video as well, if we come down more than the 50% retracement, you know, obviously it already can't really be counted as an impulse anymore. So I could really only count it as a diagonal, that the wave 5 is an ending diagonal. But if it is, then we're doing something very strange here. And we're doing here some kind of an ending expanding diagonal. Now there's one more idea that I had, in that we could possibly say that this wave 4 ended here in some kind of a strange Elliott wave triangle, and that this was a 1, this currently is a 2. But if that's the case, then it should really turn around imminently. I mean, I'm giving it one more chance here at 1849, 1850, the 78.6 fib level. Below that level, I mean, it's then a very strong retracement, to be honest. So I think we need to watch out for the interest rate announcement. Certainly next key support levels are what I just told you, the 1850 level, and then we've got the low, which is 1758. Next support would be at 1653, but currently quite a strong downturn here after it failed to create an impulse. Interesting is though that we can identify here something that you could call a descending wedge. So this would suggest some kind of a breakout to the upside. Breaking down of this pattern to the downside would be very bearish. So we are heading into the apex. I would expect some kind of a short-term breakout to the upside from here. At least that is what you would normally expect from such a descending wedge. So maybe we have a 1-2-1-2 setup, or we had the triangle finish here and this is just a 1-2 setup. But then it also needs to turn around really imminently, and it could do that when it breaks out of this wedge to the upside. Certainly something to observe. It's turned into something that's less reliable, so I'd be a bit careful now. Anybody who entered in this box would still be in profit, but it's still, you know, it's getting challenged now, this fifth wave scenario. I'm going to observe that very closely, of course, and then we'll update you in the next video. But these are sort of the options. If we lose these support levels, especially here, the wave 2 low at 1755, and that sort of support cluster here, then at some point we need to see and need to assume we are in the wave 2, which wouldn't be a problem because then we have another chance finally to enter here. And I will then also, depending on what the wave count eventually will be, we'll have to possibly adjust this support area accordingly. Depending on, you know, if we say maybe this is a maybe this fifth wave was in already in some kind of a strange structure, which I wouldn't really understand necessarily. So yeah, at the moment, not entirely sure. I leave it labeled as it is, as it was, but you know that this can't really be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 anymore, unless really we have an ending diagonal, but it wouldn't really be great because we don't really have a defined trend line. So I think in terms of bullish counts, we could only understand it as a 1-2-1-2 setup, but also that will become invalidated below $17.50 if it breaks below that wave 2 low, because then you can't have a 1-2-1-2 setup any longer. So certainly loses reliability now, and I'll keep an eye on that for you and will update accordingly. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.